Alright guys, and we are back. So these are the two La Lune stones that I have. The write-ups on it, because these stones obviously look very different from each other. This one right here is the Pierre La Lune, and that one is labeled as a slate, whereas this one right here is labeled as a vintage La Lune from the 1980s, and this one is labeled as a shale. So I found that to be kind of interesting, but regardless, and I have a slurry stone here that matches this this La Lune. So my cousin has this one right here. This one is completely new to me, so we're going to be basically designating one of each of these razors for these. So I'm going to take the bigger Progress and run it on this La Lune, and I'm going to take the smaller Dreyfus and I'm going to run it on this La Lune, and we're just going to go from there and see what we get. So I'm going to move this one over. I'm going to use this to kind of prop the stone up because it's a fairly thin stone. So I'm just going to run it on here. And I might as well try to drum up a slurry with this stone, but usually on finished stones, the slurry stones don't usually like to build a slurry quickly. So yeah, that's exactly what I figured. So it's always nice to have a matching slurry stone, but on these harder stones, and I can see a little bit of a slurry building. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can see a little bit of that, but I'm just going to cut to the chase here and build a 1200 Atoma slurry, because as you can see, within a couple of seconds, you can get a much thicker slurry going on. So like I said, this one right here, we're going to use the Progress razor, and I am going to start with a slurry and kind of do a dilution with this slurry. And as of right now, I kind of have plans on finishing with oil on these two stones. So also, when I get to my finished stones, I lighten up the touch quite a bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's actually some scratches on this stone. Not sure if that came from the slurry stone just now or from the diamond plate, but I don't feel any of those scratches, so I'm not going to worry about them. Joe from Subtle Art just did a video on this stone, and I would have to agree with him. The purple slurry that you get from the stone is actually pretty cool. And I would have to say, as far as the feel of this stone, it feels actually a lot like the Green Shadow, a very kind of smooth feel to it. And I'll be honest, most finished stones kind of have a smooth feel to them, but they all feel slightly different. Slates like this, you know, they have like a little bit of that buttery feeling to them, so it's like a soft, buttery kind of feel. Some feel hard and smooth, but not buttery. And it's just very subtle differences. Just add a little bit of water here. When I get to these finished passes, I'm very, very light on the touch. I'm not torquing the blade at all. I'm just letting the stone do the work. And one thing I will say is it's very hard to see if your slurry is darkening when it's this dark purple color. And I can tell you from doing the Chaucera bevel set and the conical Dollicott, this edge and apex and bevel feels very smooth and glassy against this stone, which is always nice. Definitely getting a pretty decent undercut, which is to be expected because my undercut on the last stone was pretty good. So realistically, I'm just refining the edge and making sure that I'm putting this La Lune edge on the blade. Also, my apologies if this video goes a little longer than anticipated. I'm not just sharpening one razor, I'm sharpening two at the same time or in succession to each other. So obviously that's going to take a little bit longer. Just for the heck of it. And as you can see, there's very little resistance at this point. I'm going to just dilute this down a little bit more. Run it for a few more passes here. I feel like my scales are out of alignment here with my spine. Just straightening that out. Undercut's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do a back and forth here where instead of going straight to oil, I'm going to rinse this off and dry it and kind of let it sit off to the side for a minute here. And while that dries, I'll do my finish passes on the other razor with the other La Lune. And then I'll come back and this first stone should be dry. And I'll add my oil and we'll do some oil passes. So same thing, try and get this stone wet. And honestly, this one I could probably just put back down here. The other one's not as thick as this stone, so the other stone I gotta prop it up above these stops on this sink bridge. Otherwise, I'm just gonna end up hitting the bridge. same thing. I'm just going to use my 1200 Atoma. Build a nice little slurry. And again, you can see how fast I build that slurry with a diamond plate. So that's why I usually prefer to just do that. It's quicker, easier. And we're gonna grab this Griffith. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And we're gonna do some finish passes. I can tell you right off the bat that these two stones feel quite different from each other. This one has a little bit more tactile feedback. Still a smooth feeling, but just definitely a little bit different. And you can also see that it's like a much lighter purple slurry. It's like a gray to purple, if you will. But the razor feels really nice going across the stone. But it doesn't have that buttery kind of slate feeling. So apparently shale and slate feel different from each other. The write-up is saying that this one is a shale base and the other one is a slate-based French stone. Just gonna add a little bit of water here. Normally a stone this size, I would just pick it up and put it in my left hand and do one hand honing, but it's the way the camera is set up, it's just not easy to do that, so I'm just gonna leave it on the bridge. And this bevel is definitely starting to feel pretty smooth going across this, so I don't think it's gonna take a ton of work to refine this edge with these La Lunes. But I'm definitely curious on the comparison shave to see the difference between the two. It's actually surprising how different these two stones feel from each other. Like I said, my cousin owns this one right here, and he absolutely loves it. He goes from his caudicle to this to his Vermont green usually, and that's a progression he's done quite a bit. He's also told me that he's stopped on this stone and tested out the edge from this stone, and that's why he's the one that's told me that these stones really seem to like oil and not so much the soapy water or O&R. So I'm basically going to do that based on his recommendation because he's used these stones, or this particular stone, a lot more than I have. So, all right, so I'm going to bring this one back over. So let me just rinse this one off. Put this back up here. And I just gotta grab my oil. Give me 1 second. That's not going to be enough. I don't like to put too much oil if I can help it. I just want like a nice even, when I use oil, I just want a nice even layer across the stone. Wipe my hands off real quick. Go back to this progress razor, and we're going to do some oil passes. Very buttery feeling with the oil. And it looks like I picked up something. Has a very glassy feel to it at this point. And I can already feel it wanting to stick a little bit, which I usually try to avoid. So I'm probably not going to do too many more passes with the oil before I strop these razors out and put them through my HHT tests and all that jazz and make sure that they're up to speed. I don't know if you guys can hear that ringing, but it's ringing off of this stone. Like I said, I'm not looking to go too crazy with these oil passes. Just looking to refine that edge a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of soap to just wash the oil off the blade. Let's see how we're doing with the packing peanut here. Oh yeah. Don't know if you guys can see that and hear that, but that sounds pretty good to me. So I'm gonna stop on that one. Like I said, I'll strop this one out really good and go from there. I'll clean the oil off of the stone after, just to save a little bit of time. And let's get this other one dried off nice. Personally, when I go to oil with any stone, I really like to make sure that the stone is 100% dry and clear and free of any kind of debris that can affect the honing. So let's do some finish oil passes with this Dreyfus. And I can see on this stone, this particular La Lune, why my cousin said to use oil. It definitely has a nice feel to it, the oil. And this blade's ringing off of the stone already as well, which is always nice. When I use oil, sometimes I just, when I see it building up on the blade, I'll squeegee it off the blade with my finger like I just did and kind of reapply it to the stone. Yeah, this has a really nice glassy feel to it already. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing and wash this one off. And just give it a packing peanut test, see how well it's cutting in. And one thing with me with the packing peanut test, it's a great little test to give you an idea of where you're at. But if it's not perfect, I will usually come back to the packing peanut and double check after I've done some stropping. And it usually helps quite a bit. Yeah. It's going in pretty easy, so I'm gonna call that done for these two razors. I'm gonna strop them out with my normal stropping regimen, and I will be bringing both of these razors to the next shave for a comparison test shave between the two. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys at the test shave.